Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to another episode of the Islamic podcast. In this episode, me and brother MENJ will respond to David Wood, who recently made a video attacking our brother Sneako. In that video, he also kind of tries to make this point that Muslim apologists are liars. Obviously, this is false. He's basically cherry picking and taking things out of context and try to make it seem like Muslim scholars or apologists are liars. When in reality, that's not the case. If you guys want more detailed explanation, then definitely check out my previous two videos. I basically exposed how he's lying to people. But anyway, so in this video, inshallah, we'll focus more on his hypocrisy in regards to his own religion. So yeah, let's see what he says.
Notice, Muslim scholars have always known about different versions of the Quran.
Like, it's read like this by Ubay bin Ka'b, it's read like this by Ibn Masud and so on. And in the Codex of Ibn Masud, it was seen to be written like this. In the Codex of Ubay bin Ka'b, it was seen to be written like this with this or that variation. So,
for a book that supposedly has no variance, that sounds like a lot of variance.
Right? It's such a simple thing. Okay, a book of Revelation was revealed to the Prophet. Right? It has different recitation forms, and all of them combined is what we call the Quran. And it's not hard to explain. It's very simple, actually.
these were always known in scholarly circles to have existed, but recently, average Muslims have just simply, without bothering to learn, they have just simply parroted a common way of speaking about the Quran and saying, it's 100% the way it's always been.
Like, what are you saying? Are you saying that the Quran that we have is not 100% the way that it was revealed to the Prophet? Is that what you're saying? Because if that is what you're saying, then just like Brother Farid made takfir on you, I'm also going to make takfir on you. If you believe that the Quran that we have is not 100% exactly the same as the Quran that was revealed to the Prophet, meaning there has been corruption and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not preserve it, as he says in the Quran, you are a kafir. You're a murtad, you're a kafir. If that is what you believe, you're a kafir. And I'm pretty sure you don't believe that. Okay? I think you're getting excited in your little chair, and you want to have this kind of quote unquote academic, you want to sound academic. With all respect, man, this is not the way you speak about these matters, okay? Because the thing is that, yes, when Muslims say that the Quran that we have is 100% the Quran that was revealed to the Prophet, they're absolutely correct. However, what they mean here is that this includes the oral transmission. It includes all the oral transmission that can be traced back to the Prophet. So be more mindful, please. Next time.
Well, we can't blame the average Muslim because, this kind of technicalities like the Qira'ah, the Ahruf, okay? So these are things which an average Muslim don't really need to know, okay, in their daily lives as a Muslim. Of course, it's a good thing to know, but it's not necessary, okay? So it is only specialists, people like me and people like Brother Islamic Calling who will be so inclined to, study these issues, okay? So basically, Dr. Shabi Ali is talking about is the issue of Ahruf and Qira'at, okay? So nothing new there. Again, nothing new, okay? So it's all about pronunciations and the differences in the recitation.
Quick question for you Muslims who are watching. What would it take for you to realize that your scholars are liars who say one thing when they're talking to other scholars and say something completely different to you? Your scholars know about the different versions of the Quran among Muhammad's companions. They know about different Qurans in different parts of the world today. They know about textual variants, but they tell you perfect preservation right down to the letter. They're lying, right?
No, David. It's just that you don't understand how basic logic works. Okay? You're using a fallacious argument. It is known as the equivocation fallacy. Look them up. Look it up. I just explained it. Look it up. Also, if you have such a problem with people being disingenuous or dishonest, then clearly you should have an issue with Paul, right? For example, in 1 Corinthians 9:20-22, it says, and Paul is saying this, that to the Jews I become like a Jew, to win the Jews. To those under the law I become like under the law. though I myself am not under the law, so as to win those under the law. To those not having the law, I become like one not having the law. Although I am not free from God's law, but I am under Christ's law, so as to win those not having the law. To the weak, I become the weak to win the weak. I have become all the things that all the peoples, so that by all possible means I might save some. We read about this in 1 Corinthians 9:20-22. But I don't know how do you understand this, other than that this guy's a liar. In order to win converts, he's going to these different tribes and different communities, and he's acting like he's one of them. So he's deceiving them. He's manipulating them. He's lying to them. Like, how else do you interpret this? He literally admits that he's a liar. He's a manipulator. He's a deceiver. And you don't have a problem with this, David. Like, you don't have no problem with this. You're fine with this. You're fine with Paul deceiving people, lying to people. You're fine with that. But when Muslims say, we have a tradition that that is different from your tradition, right? You have a massive issue with that. But you're fine with Paul lying. But when we try to explain to you that we have a different tradition, that we're the liars, we're the manipulators, right? So again, if you're going to accuse of Muslim apologists of lying, then I can also accuse Paul of lying. And if you're not going to be charitable with the Muslim apologists or Muslim du'as when they try to explain a very difficult topic and say, they're just lying, right? Instead of still manning their position, I can do the same thing. I can say that Paul lied. All Christian missionaries, they are also a bunch of liars, because from what I've seen in my own experience, all I've seen you guys is about liars. That's all I've seen. For my whole life, all I've been seeing is that you guys are lying about stuff. That's it. You guys have a very bad reputation among the Muslim apologist circle. Not just Muslim apologist circle, the Muslims in general, because of this. Right? It's not our fault. It's you, actually.
The answer to that, David, is simply this. Okay, you don't know how to read. Okay, because it's not a secret among Muslims, specialized in this field to actually avoid such issues. Okay, the average Muslim, as I said before, don't need to know this because it's not important. It's not necessary in their ibadah. Okay, it's not important and it's not an essential. But for those who have a keen interest in Islam and want to know about these such things, then yes, all they need to do is just open a book by Ahmad Bon Denver, for example, where he has a book called Sciences of the Quran. You can actually get this on Amazon, and you just flip the covers and just try to read it for once in your lifetime. It's not just him. There are many books on the Sciences of the Quran which talks about these issues openly. Okay, and I don't know why you think that Muslims are hidden away from this. Muslims are ignorant about such issues. Muslims do not know about the existence of the Ahruf and Qiraat. Excuse me, David. I've known about the issue of the Ahruf and Qiraat since 2002, and he has not bothered me as one single bit. Okay, and it's 2023 now. Chew on that.
I mean, obviously, they're obviously lying. Another quick question. Why doesn't it bother you at all when your scholars lie to you? If I caught a Christian scholar blatantly lying, I don't mean getting something wrong or making a mistake. I mean lying. I would have a really, really big problem with that Christian scholar.
Really, David? Really? I mean, again, I can say the same thing. Then why don't you have a problem with Paul, David? Shouldn't that bother you? Shouldn't you have a problem with the fact that Paul was going on lying to people? Isn't this deceptive? Isn't this manipulative? Isn't that a problem? A massive part of a religion is based on this guy's interpretation of the Bible. Is that a problem, David? Why are you okay with that? You see, both of us can play this game.
David, don't put us in the same boat as you, okay, or as your scholars, okay, because your Christian scholars won't even admit that there are differences in the text, even though they do admit that there are changes, but they don't admit that these changes affects the doctrinal and the main message.
In a sane world, Sneako would hear a Muslim scholar claim that the Quran has been perfectly preserved.
I mean, in a sane world, you, David, would hear that Paul was a great man. He's a saint. And you would hear that from your pastors, from your church leaders.
Then Sneako would do a few minutes of research, which is really all it takes to debunk the myth of perfect preservation.
And you will do like a 5 minutes research and find out that actually he was actually a manipulative and deceitful person.
Then Sneako would say to himself, "You know, Sneakster,
Then you, David, say to yourself, you know what, Davidster?
if they lied to you about this,
If the pastors, they lied to you about Paul,
what else did they lie to you about?"
what else did they lie to you about?
And once he figured out that he can't trust these guys,
And again, once you have confirmed this and realized that your pastors are lying to you, Paul is lying to you, or he was a liar, and you cannot trust so-called Paul's accounts,
he would leave Islam
you would leave Christianity.
and he would be the latest apostate receiving public death threats from the likes of Ali Dawah.
And you would get happy welcomes by the likes of Michael Jones.
I join with the atheists.
Anyway, like, David, like, I mean, I can play this game. You want to play this game? I can play this game. I can make this exact same argument. Like, I can make the literal same argument. And it would apply to you. The difference is it doesn't actually apply to the Muslim apologists. Because Muslim apologists are not actually lying. You're manipulating them. You're strawman. You're using flinching argument. And they're lying about it. You're deceiving your audience. Thank you to Brother MENJ for joining me in this video. It was a lot of fun having him here.
Inshallah, I'll see you again in a future live stream. My conclusion of his video is that he's trying to make accusations against the Quran, and apart from that, he just talks about the issues of ahruf and qira'at, which, by the way, we Muslims already know since goodness knows when. Okay, he's just simply repeating missionary lies over and over and over again, as though Muslims rely on the written text, when for all claims and purposes, we Muslims rely on the preservation of the Quran via memorization. Okay, so memorization always takes precedence over the text. Okay, so even that who couldn't even read a single letter in Arabic can recite the Quran perfectly without any issues whatsoever. So this is one of the miracles of the Quran. So with that, thank you for watching this reaction video, my collaboration with Brother Islamic Calling. If you like this video, please do not forget to like this video. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. And by the way, do not forget to subscribe to Brother Islamic Calling's channel.
Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time, inshallah. Assalamualaikum.